I want to informally, I feel like I've been apologizing a lot, but I want to apologize. I know I had the call scheduled at 2, and usually I'm never late. I promise you that. This is the first time I'm late, and the only reason being is I had a call. My mentor wanted to have a call with me last minute before the call, and he doesn't give a fuck about my community. So he's like, "Bro, you either listen now or fuck off." So unfortunately, no, Nick was good. It's all me. I was talking with my coach, and he was like, "Again, this guy is. It's a guy like you'll never meet someone like him. He's so philosophical, and he truly helped me out a lot. And what I literally just learned right now in the matter of the last 10 minutes while you guys are waiting, it's a whole nother call to have. It's a different game, but today's call is not about me. It's not about my amazing coach. It's about the G himself, Nick. So we're gonna bring Nick up, guys. Actually, let me do a little introduction. I don't know much about Nick, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. I know that he's absolutely crushed it during COVID, crushed it in the last few years in e-commerce, and obviously crushing back then, crushing now. At the end of the day, principles are still the same, and I think we can bring up Nick here, and he'll absolutely change all your perspectives, all your way of thinking, and absolutely help you guys out. So let's all give a round of applause for the $1 million day man, Nick. Let's bring him up. Bring him up.
Yo, 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 what's good?
What's good, bro?
How you
How,
doing?
I'm pretty good. How about you, bro? How did you
It's
find the
alright.
Discord?
I saw your YouTube video a few days ago, actually like a week and a half ago, randomly. I never really watch YouTube videos, but you were talking about in the YouTube video how like you like you're at that point where you've got everything, like you know how to make it, but like what are you missing? Like you know what I mean? You were talking about like the creatives and the site, and that's the kind of place I was at when before I hit it really big. I was like, I know what I'm doing. Like I know everything that I'm fucking doing. Like there can't be more to it than this. Like what else is there to fucking learn?
Yeah.
So I really I just wanted to join your server and tell you about like, hey, you're not missing anything. I almost felt like a previous version of me, like, hey man, like because there was nobody to tell me about it, right? So I had to figure it out on my own. So I was like, hey, I can tell somebody about somebody's in the same place as I wasn't back then. So
Yeah, no, 100%. I've been learning that a lot recently, how it's all limiting beliefs. You have all the knowledge, you're all capable, and it's just a matter of. So that's why I want to bring up and ask you. So to start off, was what do you think helped you change that mentality of I know everything? And what was the answer, or like what was the few aspects that finally got you to see like physical results?
so are you saying like I had the mentality of I know everything, or I had the mentality of like I don't know everything?
No, like when you switched from what's missing, like looking at what's missing to no, nothing's missing. I have all the information I could possibly do have, and it's just like well, and then the question is, and it's just a matter of what that made you finally start to see results.
Yeah. So around the time before COVID, I was running a headphones company, and I was doing about 100 to 200K a month. That wasn't even like my beginning of my journey. My beginning of my journey was 2017, 18. I have it all like documented on
Damn.
Instagram. I think I made my first sale on the first, I think, week of October 2017. I dropped out of college because we weren't doing really well financially, my family. So it was really rough. So I had like kind of no choice but to drop out of college and just try to make it online, whatever. So after my first $1,000 day, no, I think I went for like $1,000 a month for the first time, and then I think November Black Friday is when I made my first money, which is why like I love Black Friday for beginners because that's when I got started. It was around these times I was researching. I don't know if you guys know, probably none of you guys know this, but back then there was a guy called Rory Gannon who was like the OG of dropshipping. He taught like me, Sebastian Ghiorghiu, all these big fucking names you hear about nowadays. They were all like his students type shit. Um, and back in the day, he made like a 1 week video of like, oh, this is what you have to do to get from 0 to 1K. he was doing like a lion's bracelet fucking product, and that went crazy for him. But yeah, I learned a lot of things and always had this feeling of like there's some secret sauce that I'm missing. Maybe it's this theme, maybe it's this, the way I make my ads, maybe it's just something, and I would micromanage. At one point I was thinking it's the powered by Shopify link at the fucking bottom of the page. That's the secret sauce. That's why I'm not getting sales because it's the powered by Shopify link. And I would see somebody who was doing like 50K a month, 20K a month, and I would get frustrated because I was like, oh, this guy has the powered by Shopify link in the like. So I was like a complete fucking noob, right?
Yeah.
Like it was completely like it was that bad. Nowadays it can't even be that bad because you have all these servers that you can like learn from, or you have like YouTube videos that are like advanced. Back then there were no YouTube videos. So fast forward, I mean, to answer your question, when did I figure out that I knew everything, or like, to be fair with you, I still don't think I don't know everything. I think I know very little. You never get to the point where you know everything, because if you know everything, you stop learning, which is, you stop growing. So I still, talk to people. I understand, like, even from anybody here, like, if I get asked the right question, I would love to like learn from myself my own answers, because I don't think you ever stop learning. But what kind of made me realize that there was no secret was when I had the $1 million day during COVID. I was like, oh, I didn't do anything different. I had a great product page, basic image ad. I did like the right copy. I was doing normal SEO. I was doing Google Shopping ads back then, and I had $1 million day. And I was like, huh. So there was no secret at the end, and I'm a fucking dumbass. So everybody else is a dumbass as well, and we just make pretend that we're fucking smart because the market. Okay, this is like the biggest thing. The market decides who gets to inflate their ego, right? People go up and they make like 100K in a month or 100K in a day, whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I'm the shit." No, you're not. It's not about who you are. It's about what your product is. Because the market doesn't know who you are. The market reacts to your product, and that's it. If you made a funnel and didn't convert, don't get down on yourself because the market doesn't even know who the fuck you are. So how does it have to do anything with you and if you take a fucking cold shower or not? It's about like. And by the way, I don't know if you guys anybody takes cold shower. I'm just saying like randomly. I don't know if anybody has like a cold shower routine, but nothing against you. But basically, doesn't matter who you are. Depends on who you're marketing to and what your product offers. So yeah, that was the kind of day when I hit $1 million day. I was like, whole world kind of broke out for me. I'm not gonna lie. After that, I quit business. Like 2020, I quit business for like 2, 3 years, and I came back this year for fun and did decently again. But yeah, after 2020, I was just chilling for like 2, 3 years because I had made so much money in 2020 that I was like, oh, like what's left for me now? Like I went to Tai Lopez podcast and I like even on Tai Lopez I told him like, yo, I'm like this was like okay, I'm done. Like what else is there to do? And then I met a couple of people who were like worth nine figures and got me back into the game. I was like, you know what? There's way more levels to this shit. So
Yeah. So to continue on that, so what made you like besides obviously that you made a lot of money and it kind of gave you that freedom or that opportunity for you to take a break? Is there anything specifically on why you took a break? Was there like a goal that you had to like find another passion or whatever it may be, and then what brought you back this year?
I mean, I've always had a goal. I mean, I got back last year, not this year. But last year I was doing like, other things, like, building other things out. Like I have a solar panel farm. I'm also working on like a VR headset R&D for that. So, I've always had like a couple of dreams, like building a VR company, building a space fucking company. Not like Elon Musk, but like a different kind of space company. So I had like all those crazy dreams as a kid and shit, but I kind of lost it because around the age of 20, 19, I mean, I got started with e-commerce at 17, 18. 2 years later, at age 20, I made $1 million in a day. So it's like very lucky. And you give that kind of kid that kind of money, it's like what his brain explodes. Like what's left? At age 20, my goal was just to hit $1 million in a month. And when I had that in a day, I was like, oh, all right. Now what? I'll never achieve anything significant ever again. Like I'll never beat this number because I didn't think of exit valuations. I didn't think of investments, IPOs, nothing, private equity. I had no idea about any of those things. So I was like, yeah, this is the peak that I can achieve my potential. And I was like, all right, then this is the end of the video game, and I quit. I quit. Also allowed me to quit because I mean I'm in India, so here if you make 100K, that's like you're good for the rest of your life because like there's no costs. Like I live in a shitty like fucking apartment. Not shitty, it's a pretty good apartment, but the rent here is like $400 or something, and I have no car. I have like 10 servants, so I can just do whatever I need to do without wasting any time. So people always ask me why are you living in India? Why you have no car? Like I don't like. I'm pretty humble. Like I have a broken ass chair and a broken ass table, and I sleep in a single bed. So I don't need more than that.
So so that's actually crazy. Honestly, you haven't even thought of like moving out or nah. You love it where you are. You're
I've
with your
been
family.
everywhere. I've been to LA. I've been to New York. I've been to
Okay.
fucking Beverly Hills. I've been to UK. I've been to fucking. I was in Zurich. I spent 100K in a week in Zurich. Whatever, flew private, whatever. It's boring. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, you fly private, you go on these hotels, you do all this shit, and you're like, okay, you feel the same inside. Who fucking cares? It's like a little high for like 10 minutes, and then you're like back to the crib and back to work. But what excites me now is just building companies. That's like the only reason to make money at this point.
Yeah.
So.
And because
It's quickly. It's very shallow. Go on.
yeah, no, because including me and a bunch of other people are more on the beginner side of this journey. So it's kind of like what's kind of the aspects from your tests when you would test a product and it'd be like $0 or maybe $1,000 to I wouldn't even say your $1 million day, but like to start seeing some
I mean, that
traction.
wasn't. Hold on. Before we go on with the questions, I wanna clear something out. That was extremely lucky. Like that's like an outlier event. We can't compare that to like that wasn't me. That was
Yeah.
just COVID. People were going crazy, and I was happened to be at the right place at the right time. Now, did I decide to sell COVID supplements, thermometers, and all that shit at the right time? Yes, sure, you could say that, right? But that doesn't mean that was all me, yeah, right? People are gonna think I'm some genius because I did that. No, anybody else could have been in my spot and done it. Of course, many people didn't make a lot of money during COVID. I did pick the right product, so it was kind of partly me, but it was mostly the market. But yeah, other than that, you were talking about like beginners. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. So when you start to see traction, did you realize like a certain aspect that was kind of different from your products that you were choosing, or was it just simply just the reps and it was a gradual kind of difference, or you start seeing results gradually?
Look, it's all about the product. Like
Yeah.
you'll test the product the right way. You'll test with your best landing page, best stats, everything, and you won't make any money. And then you'll do the exact same shit again at a different time with the same product or different time with a different product, and you'll find that magical product market fit. And you're like, everything just fucking clicks. Like every ad is working. You're posting stories with like, insane numbers. You think you're the genius, and then market crashes again. You get fucked, and then you're like, oh, was I really even doing anything? So a lot of times, that's why you get imposter syndrome at like every stage of the way. The reason beginners can't crack dropshipping isn't because always about their product. It's a combination of lack of skill and lack of good product selection. Those are the only two things. If you have good skill, as in you can build a subpar or like an average website, and you know how to make decent ads, and by the way, you know how to make decent ads is like 100 hours worth of fucking studying ads and looking at top brands and seeing how to have good hooks, adding music in your videos, having like perfect fucking testing 7 hooks per fucking video, having 50 image ads, having a whole team for that shit eventually. That's what making good ads mean. It sounds easy on paper. Oh, make good ads. Like what the fuck are good ads? Like good ads are very, very hard to make. So if you know what a good ad is and you can make good ads and you can make a good site and you still can't make money, it is 80% of the time the product and other times it's the market. So for example, I had a friend of mine who was struggling with e-commerce this year. He made like 20, 30K revenue last year, entirety of the year. I came in January and I took him to $1 million a month in about 2 months because, his site was fucking dog shit. The name of the site was dog shit. The products on at the site were dog shit. The margins were like 50%. So, I just changed everything. The site, logo, the product margins. He was buying for $20, selling for fucking 40. I bought a product for $30, sold for like fucking 180. And that was a whole different product, whole different niche, whole different everything. And then he just printed money. He was like, what the fuck's going on? Now, did I get lucky with that product? Absolutely. I was the right place, right time again. But it's like it's a combination of product and your decision making. Like, can you make the right decision at the right time? Can you,
Yeah.
decide to do this product? And can you, above all, not let the product's success or failure affect you? A lot of times people think, oh, I'm fucking bad at this. I can't make it work. No, it's just your product isn't good enough. Look, I've been through those times where, like, a lot of people here listening might be just losing products, right? Like, they're trying products, they're not making it work. Dude, I was 6 months at a time, no winners at one point, like when I was getting started. It was fucking brutal. Even now, I could launch a brand and it probably might not work. But it doesn't matter how good I am. If the product is not accepted in the market, it's not accepted in the market, period. Recently I've put down like 500K on like a fucking product. I'm not gonna name what it is, but it's like a new invention. And we're trying to make it in the market. And I talked to my CEO. We're like, dude, like he's worth like 9 figures. I'm like, dude, either we're gonna get fucking destroyed by the market, or we're gonna get like a huge exit. Like you can't predict what the market's gonna do. All you can do is hope and fucking pray. And that is, anybody who makes a lot of money and says they're not lucky, they're just fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, 100%. And to go back to like how you were saying with creatives, like just make good creatives. I actually just learned this like, today. My coach basically
Yeah.
says a lot of these skills that involves in the business, it's really written right there. They're easy to understand but hard to master. And it takes
Yeah.
hours and hours of homework and studying to get good at, so many aspects that combine into an e-commerce store. And at the end of the day, like you were saying, 100%, I believe it, everything you do is probability. Probability, luck is more, it's the same thing. And I just tell people to like do your homework, do your due diligence, and try to just increase the possibility as much as possible. Like, like even if you do everything perfect, and the probability will never be as high as 99%, but maybe it is. But there's always that 1% doesn't hit. And it's just like, it's a matter of, that's why the classic saying of never giving up and you'll find success is so true, because eventually it's like rolling a dice. It's going to eventually hit if you just keep doing it. But yeah, and so also I liked how you talked about, you came and helped your friend. I'm like around the same position as your friend back then, and you changed a lot of few aspects. And one thing that you mentioned was the profit margins, how like you were selling something and definitely drastically increased the AOV. Like, can you talk to people kind of more like how important the profit margins are?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, like there's like so many things that go into it that the reason it's hard to advise on, how to win an ecom is there isn't one thing you can do. There's like you have to get 1,000 different things right,
Yeah.
and 1,000 different things. Two of them have to fall into place, which you can't like no matter what the fuck you do, you can't make the market forcefully buy a product. If you could, then we'd all be fucking billionaires, because then all you have to do is make a good site, a good ads, and who the fuck can't do that, right? So a lot of times you have to kind of have a conversation with yourself and say, hey, look, I'm getting held back by these products. I'm getting held back by these, like low TM, like total addressable market. The market isn't big enough for this product, or there's already like a big enough player that I can't beat because they have too many resources, right? It's like trying to fucking make, smartphones in the same industry as Apple. Like it's hard. So what I would say for the reason margins are important is because ad cost is going up, everything's going up. Your margins are extremely important because there's fucking fee out of everything. Like there's literally fees from fucking Stripe, there's Shopify payments, there's other fees if you have applications, you have payment costs, you have workers, you have fucking staff, you've got legal lawyers, fucking finance, fucking there's like so much shit that goes into fucking business that if you're not at least like at a 2 or like a 5 or 6, like a 6x when it comes to like margin to like buy price, like if you're buying something for 5, 10 bucks, you have to sell for at least like 4 times the price at this rate. Because if you can't see yourself selling this product for 4 times the price, then you're fucked. Or at least have like an AOV of like twice, like 2 items per item. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have a product for 10 bucks and you sell two of them, you save on shipping. So the parcel weight is what you get charged for. So basically the more products you sell, the lesser you get charged because you
Yeah.
can just put everything in like one box. So that's like a nuanced thing that suppliers can do. But yeah, you want to have high margins because why would you not want to have high margins? And it helps a lot with everything.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, like we're not, like, I remember when I first started getting into it, people were saying like, "Oh yeah, have your healthy profit margins. Have your healthy profit margins. Do 2x. 2 3x is good." Like it's like,
Two,
bro,
three X
like with
horrendous.
ad costs, I think you're even unprofitable at that point. So now that I've learned, again recently, the same thing as you said, you would get a product for 30 $60, but you're selling it for 180. Like it's like a drastic increase to what I what people we were being taught
AOV.
on a fucking YouTube. Um,
Yeah, I mean, one of our brands, our AOV is like $70. Our product is like 40, and we buy it for like $5, $6, and like that's just insanity. Like, yeah, the problem isn't the number, like the price. Like margins aren't just numbers, right? If you buy a product for $100 and sell for 200, that's way worse than buying a product for 5 and going for 15. It's about the multiple. Because if you sell $100,000 worth of the 2x product, you're always going to pay half the money for it. But if you have like a 4 or 5x multiple, then you get 100K in sales and you only spent 20K in cost of goods. Because best case scenario, I mean, I've seen nine-figure brands, the best they can do is like 2.5 ROAS, 2 ROAS, which is 50% gone already. So if you're like a top tier brand, then you're maybe breaking even if you have like a 2x margin. So like you have to have at least 4 or 5x. I mean, I would say the most profitable you want to be, you want to have over 90% margins, which is like the god products, like the S tier products. Those are the ones that I go for nowadays. Like supplements are really good, beauty niche is really good. There's like, you know, digital products are really good, but you have to also have quality then, A really good price point is like buy something for 5, $10 or $5 or $4 and sell it for like 24, 29. That's like really good. If you're like at $50 mark, then you want to buy for less than $10, $59 sell, and then over $100 you want to buy for like 10, $20 max.
yeah, 100%. So now that you said you're running brands right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of made you like? Cause you're also saying back then you kind of weren't looking for exits, and now I'm assuming you are. What kind of what kind of factors kind of made you switch that like goal or that mindset? Besides, obviously, maybe you had the money for it, but like, was it confidence? Was it some certain idea? Did you have like some mentor, coach, like guiding you for it? Like, what was that transition like?
I've never really had a mentor. Maybe I should have had a mentor, but never had one. And
Okay.
for me, it was just like remembering who I am, and it was just I met a couple people who were worth like 400 million and shit, and I met a billionaire at a party and shit, and it was like there's people so far ahead of me that I can't believe I got complacent at where I was. Um, I didn't flex to anyone, but I was still very complacent. I was like, oh, I'll achieve all I can. What else can I do? And that was just a stupid, it was a stupid concept. What do you mean to achieve everything you can? That's so stupid. It was just like a really beginner rookie mistake because I was early in business, 2 years in, you make $1 million in a day. Kid doesn't know what to fucking do. Um, but it did open up it was like a blessing and a curse, you know? It opened up the my part of my brain which knows that everything is possible, like even a $1 billion company is possible. But because if you're doing $1 million a day, that's a $1 billion company. So technically, I was running the operations of a $1 billion company for a little while, and it was fucking brutal. Like I have a sleepless nights. I was refunding like 100K a fucking hour sometimes. It was very, very bad. It wasn't just all profit, by the way, guys. Like I refunded 200K in a fucking hour one time, and it was brutal. I was like seeing all that money go back. The margins were crazy insanity, but it was still, it was still rough. It was mentally rough, very, very mentally rough. So
So
yeah, it
in
was
your
just, looking at bigger people.
yeah, no, I can imagine. Honestly, that's why a lot of people think it's gonna be like such a smooth ride up, and it's like, yeah, once you're making certain amount of numbers, it's like, oh, you can go put your fucking feet on top of the desk and just chill, maybe travel more or whatever. But
Uh,
no, I'm very much aware how more money, more problems. That's what they say. So,
I
Amen
mean,
asked a
good problems though.
yeah, it's a good
I'd
problem, a
rather be
hundred
rich
percent.
than having problems. Like don't get me wrong, right? A lot of people like to like act rich. Like a lot of people who are rich are like, it's because they're so bored of like being rich, they don't realize like what life was like when they're fucking poor. I can guarantee you, yes, more money, more problems, but you would take that shit any day of the fucking week. I'd love to be stressing out about handling $1 million a day, like then fucking be worried about paying the fucking bills. At one point, I had $100 in my bank account when I got started. That was not fun. Like I'd rather not know what to do with $1 million. It is way more fun. Like, and the whole thing about like you can retire. I mean, possibly you can if you make enough money. You only have to make like I would say 20, like 5K, like 1 to 5K a month profit is when you're like, okay, I'm making money online. 10 to 20K a month is like, okay, you're starting to make decent money. 40K a month, life gets really good. And after 100K a month, it's like, okay, like now you're like really starting to like understand something. And then once you get over 100K, 200K a month, that's just a fucking number on the screen at that point.
Yeah. No,
Unless you
100%.
want like private jets and yachts, then the world's the same for you.
Yeah. No, that's eventually the goal. But so Eamon asked a good question. He's like, how do you do your time management? Like how would you set your priorities throughout the day? Because I've learned also again recently that tracking your inputs and doing your actions with intention are very very important. So how would you organize that?
That is true, yeah. Um, Awareness. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna act like I know everything here. I am very undisciplined sometimes, right? First thing I would say is train every day. I had a period when I was like doing martial arts and I was like doing workouts every single day, like for like a month and a half, and it was a great time because no matter how I felt every day, I was just working out and getting shit done and whatever the fuck training. Um, but I would say you need to have a lot of awareness and reflection. As long as you can wake up in the morning and not be distracted by social media 24 fucking 7. Because we don't even realize how often we fucking go and doom scroll or fucking go to Instagram or like just pointlessly just doing nothing with our time. It's crazy. It's a fucking disease. So the first step is to avoid that. Like delete fucking Instagram from your phone, delete fucking every app unless you're using it for business or like something's important. Delete it or put a password on it. So whenever you open it, it asks you like a question like, okay, why are you opening this application? First of all, like, a lot of people need to fucking fix that social media addiction. But after that, I did try like time tracking. I know what the big shots do. Like I know some people at Nine Figures they all do time blocking. So they like time blocking is basically like you set every 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, like and you set every Monday you sit with your personal assistant and you set up your entire week full of meetings and shit. I don't fucking do that because I hate that shit. Like I used to be like this guy who was like, like a kid who got started with e-commerce and there were all these fucking millionaires and shit who are like acting so busy and like so like oh we've got these processes and everything's complicated. I'm like when I'm gonna become rich, I'm gonna keep everything simple, and I obey that. So even now, dude, sometimes I wake up in the fucking 4 p.m. in the afternoon, undisciplined as fuck. Sometimes I fucking go to bed at like 7 a.m. in the morning after playing
Yeah.
fucking all night of Diablo. I don't- Like sometimes I'm undisciplined as fuck. I kind of just give in to my natural instinct. But when I work like 16 hours in a day, 18 hours in a day. So it's just kind of about your instinct and just have like a weekly tracking thing. Don't overthink it, because thinking about productivity isn't productive, right? Being productive is productive. So I would just
That
say
is
have like a
amazing.
journal,
That is actually,
like a to-do
I
list.
think,
Yeah.
one of the best ways someone has explained it. Being Thinking about being productive is not productive. That's actually, you're so right about that. Because yeah, but
Yeah.
that's with the online space. I feel like a lot of people kind of have like this sense of like brain masturbation where it's like, I'm on my notions with my calendar and I have the hour by hour. Like even I'm the same thing, kind of like you. Like I wake up. I have
Yeah.
maybe my 10-minute morning routine, and it's very simple. I wake up, get my black coffee, read a chapter of the Bible, and then I get on with my day. But everything else is up in
Awesome.
the air. But it's kind of like you do what you need to do, or what needs to be done, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as you
I
were saying.
mean, if you want to go into the nitty-gritty, I mean, it's you work and you sleep. Like when I'm doing, I would say when I'm being peak productive, then I'm not thinking about productivity. If I'm thinking about
Yeah.
productivity, then that's time lost about being worried about am I doing enough or not. If you're doing enough, you're not thinking about doing enough because if you spent even 10 seconds doing enough, guess what? You can't do it. You're not doing enough. So if you really want to do enough, then you wake up, you work, and you go to bed. And by that, I don't mean like you wake up, you like lay in your bed for 30 minutes, you take a shower for fucking 40 minutes, you take a shit for fucking 1 hour, and then you go to work. No, it's like you wake up,
Yeah.
you're on your fucking chair, like wash your face, whatever you gotta do, and get to fucking work. And that's it. Like, don't worry about being productive because you will never. Here's the thing, right? Productivity and the best use of your time. Productivity basically means what is the best use of your time, right? People don't get the definition, but that's the definition of it. What is the best use of your time? What's going to generate you the most results or bring you closer to your goal for per unit time you spend? And that changes all the time. If you're a beginner, your best use of your time is to learn shit all fucking day. If you're an expert, your best use of your time is to hire people all day and train them. If you're even above that, then you should be hiring your C-suite and training them and getting review meetings all fucking day. So your priorities and your productivity will shift. You might feel productive after working 16 hours in a day on a website, but you could just hired somebody in 10 seconds and they would have finished it up for you. And now, you know what I mean? Like you can either cut the grass or make one phone call and somebody else does it for you. So, what is productivity at the end? The most productive task in the world is to hire people, if you think about it. Like that is the highest leverage task because you're basically hiring people to work for you and you're not doing shit. Like all the tasks that don't require you are automated. So then your task just becomes strategic thinking. Sit down and think about the progress. Where are you going? Where are you at? What is your goal? And then focus on growing your business. Growing your business happens with getting more customers. So run more ads, make better ads, get a better team. It can go infinitely deep into it. But what one thing is what's super super important is extreme and critical self observation. So like observation of your own actions and everything you do. If you don't observe your actions, you likely end up doing the same actions as the day before or how somebody else is influencing you as. The only way to change your actions is by being acutely aware of yourself. And advice that nobody really gives, but take advice from nobody. And that might sound like ignorant, but have a filter because everybody's going to influence you in some way or the other. But you know what's right for yourself. So take advice, like take it and then put it against your frame of reference and then do what's right anyway. Because you're never more right than yourself. Like it's hard to kind of explain this concept because people always think, oh, read books and all this shit. That's fine. You can gain more knowledge, right? But everybody was a dumbass and everybody is a dumbass. So never put anybody on a pedestal. I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm not fucking some guru, right? I don't even count myself as a guru. I'm a fucking idiot. Like everybody else in here. Like everybody in the fucking world. We're all trying to figure it out. So
Yeah.
never ever put something on a pedestal. You're all fucking stupid.
100%. And yeah, I found that like going back, like I found when I was using my phone a lot, scrolling, I would tend to wake up in the morning and kind of like start doing actions without even like on autopilot. Like I would wake up, go on my Discord, answer a few questions here and there, and it's like well, I'm not even aware that I'm awake, and it's really bad. But honestly, I've learned a lot that you should really analyze the inputs that you're doing throughout your day and kind of calculate or even jot down on a list of what brings the highest ROI, and then the other ones that are fucking not as not as important, either ignore them or start hiring people because they're not as important as the ones that bring you the best return on investment. um
Yeah,
I did
true. I
I did
mean, that's called living on autopilot.
yeah, I did have so we're talking about before how it's very important to find sometimes you're saying like to find success is luck as well, for sure, but it's also kind of like being at the right place at the right time, understanding the markets, truly what the market wants. Is there kind of some certain criteria on that catches your eye, or like when you see kind of like a gap in the market, like what do you look for in that type of sense?
Product research wise, right? Look, product is genuinely difficult. Like it is difficult. You can look at trends, you can look at Q4, gifting products are gonna work well. You could look at like I would say the easiest way to start a brand in 2024 is literally go on fucking these AI spy tools and just look at somebody who's doing good and just do it better than them. I've done that a couple dozen times, and every time I just either put them out of business or the product dies out. So if you take somebody else's product which you know is already doing good, that is kind of like they've got lucky for you, so you can kind of take that and make it work for yourself. Rather than testing products yourself, because even if you test products yourself, you're gonna get copied anyway at the end of the day. So until you're in the whole drop shipping game, you're gonna be getting copied a lot. The only way to beat the others is by scaling like a fucking monster. So I've got a friend who's like met this one guy. His name is like I don't know if you guys know him. He's like Scale Surfer on Twitter used to be. He's doing 10 million a month on this brand called Shape. So, 10 million a month, pretty good. And this guy, like, does worldwide targeting and no one can compete with him right now, like, for that kind of product immediately off the bat because he spent so much money on ads. So even if I try to compete with him right now, it will take me a little while to beat him, if I beat him at all. because it will take. I mean, I would if I really wanted to, I could. It would take me a while though. But the whole reason is that Facebook takes time to find the perfect customers because you need more data. You can't just go off into a brand new market and expect to make $1 million. You have to slowly grow the pixel, grow your budget, and as you go forward. That's why like sometimes I'm notorious for like 10xing the fucking budget and fucking up my entire ads and just going negative. But I do it so I can get data fast, and then I kind of dominate later on. So I know many of my friends, like one of my friends doing this run brand. I can't name it again, but they do about 50 million a year, and first 8 9 months of the year they just fucking straight up lose money, and then October, November, December they just fucking print like $1 million days. So it's all about market condition, saturation. When something's needed. Halloween products could work during Halloween. That could make a couple million. When Trump got shot, people were doing Trump T-shirts. Those didn't go on Facebook because you get banned if you do on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you have to just look around in the beginning, and as you going forward, as you make more money, then start looking at the long-term products that you can exit for, like big numbers. Supplements are really, really good. I recently acquired a supplement brand. That's nice. Supplements are really nice. Any kind of niche which people can buy again and again is really nice. But whatever you do, just make sure to high margins and just keep trying new things and keep your tests very quick and very lean. So if you get a product idea, launch the store ads everything within 2 fucking days, and get it going. If it doesn't work, don't waste energy on it. Get the fuck out. If it works, don't waste energy on it. Build a team. So whatever you do, you should be like kind of the guy who's like doing fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And that's like the best advice I can give anyone about e-commerce. Just literally focus on automating everything.
100%. And so, like you were saying, like I've kind of heard this too, where when you start to look into exiting and building brands, sometimes you're not even profitable the first full year, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, for someone like a drop, like some drop shippers like us, it's like we buzz when we lose like $50 on a test. So to hear something like that's kind of like mind blowing to us. But
Yeah,
that's
I mean, look, I've been at that spot. I've been at that spot. Look,
yeah,
there's a difference to make though. In the beginning, you don't care about exits. You want to just make some money. You know what I mean? So the dropshipper doesn't give a fuck about exits because he's just trying to fucking pay his rent. So in that case, my best advice is just look at the top TikTok. Like a lot of TikTok kids are doing TikTok right now, and they're underpricing the product like crazy. You can just take a TikTok kid's product and launch it on Facebook ads, and usually make a lot of money. If you don't make money, then test it in Australia, test it in Europe, test it in fucking Netherlands, test it somewhere else. There's so much to fucking do before you give up on a product. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Go next. Like you're gonna have many failed product tests, like news fucking flash. Why? Because if you don't fail, you're gonna probably make a lot of fucking money. So it's like you're trying to be the 0.001% earners in the fucking world, and then you expect to not fuck up your first 10 product tests. Like you know what I mean? Like people have this unrealistic expectation about like it's gonna be terrifying. It's gonna be horrendously bad. You're gonna be very frustrated, very fucking pissed off at the system and the government and the fucking game, because that's how you're supposed to feel as a beginner. And even when you make a lot of money, I've had a friend who's done over 100 million. He launched a fucking new product, invested $1 million in it, couldn't make a single fucking sale. Couldn't make it work at all. Tried everything. Didn't fucking work. Market doesn't want the product, buddy. Do what the fuck you want. The market doesn't care. So trust me, it might sound like I'm some invincible e-commerce master or something. Trust me, I could launch the same product as you and not make it work if the market doesn't want it. Now, if we tested 50 products, would I have more winners? Sure. But that's because I have better ads and better website design and better fucking, I have content creators, I do TikTok shop, I do Amazon, I do everything. So if you master these different skills, organic content, influencers, Amazon, product line expansion, outreaching team, TikTok shop, supplier cost reduction, YouTube ads, if you do all these fucking things and learn every single spectacle, of course you're gonna start making more money. Um, but that's kind of where your skills, like you have to be good at just knowing what to do, which isn't that hard. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about finding a good product. A good product will carry the fuck out of you. You can have a horrendous site, a fucking alright basic ass ad, and print money. Stupid
yeah.
people out there are making more money than me. Like they're making billions of dollars, and I will never catch up to them in like next 5 years because they just found a better product than me at the right time. So yeah, it's a lot of it is about also shots on goal.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, and yeah, honestly, you're so right because a lot of people think that when you reach a certain level, you made so much money, you kind of think like, oh my god, there's some genius, there's some whatever. But majority of these, 1% of the people in the world, you have the obviously exception like Elon Musk, who is I deem to be an absolute genius. But the majority of other billionaires are absolutely not the smartest at all. If anything, you're probably smarter than them. It's just, yeah, like you said, right place, right time, right product. The market like what they have
And
to
and
offer.
then again, you also have to remember, like, we perceive Elon to be a genius. I love Elon. I've got a picture from my fucking on my fucking wall, like a super fucking cool guy. But if you think about it, if his fourth rocket launch had failed or third rocket launch had failed, he'd be on the street somewhere, and we wouldn't be fucking knowing about him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, who's really a genius at the end of the day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, if given the right circumstances, if I give you $100 billion, I'm sure you could also come up with some crazy technology which makes sense, right? So, if somebody's a genius or not is a very surface level term, and a lot of it comes down to how lucky they got and what are they able to do with the resources that they have.
Yeah.
So, I'm telling you, it's a very complicated game, man. Sometimes it's better to keep it simple because sometimes you'll do everything you can, be smart as fuck, and some retard clown is gonna beat you at the game simply because he's in a speedboat. Like if you're swimming against a speedboat guy, doesn't matter how fit you are, the guy can be 400 pounds and he'll beat you because he's like driving a speedboat and you're swimming. So what you're working on is more important than how hard you're working. Because you could lift bricks for 8 hours a day and you'll get beaten by some guy making three TikToks a month. So like it's very important to like understand the potential of what you're doing. Like ask yourself, like, okay, if I want to make 100K a month profit, what's that gonna look like? Okay, I'm at 10% margins. I have to do $1 million this month. Is this good enough or should I go for a different product? Should I even go for a different fucking business in the meantime? There's a lot of things you can do.
Um, I want to ask you. This is kind of more of a personal question for me. Um, I know, like I've kind of transitioned more to looking into building an actual brand and looking to exit, and that's only the only reason I've done that is because I have someone um, who's done very well in the space and who's kind of guiding me for free. I've met him, like it was a connection. I met him in real life. But
Hmm.
is there, like, do you believe that you should make money first through kind of regular drop shipping, to not look just for exit, to look for profits, and then kind of move into something like that later down the line? Or you think it's possible to even, like, for anyone to start like that?
I mean, that's decision will be made for you depending on your product. If your product is only like a B-level winner, it's only going to make you a little bit of money and it won't even exit. I've had a friend who made about 30 million revenue in 3 years and he can't sell that company for shit. He got an offer for $1 million, rejected it, and now he's stuck. He can't sell the company anymore. So not always just because your brand's in revenue, it's not going to always get exit potential, right? Many things go into it. There was this guy, I think he sold this dog treats brand called Zesty Paws for 600 million to Pacific Group. Um, that company was going to go for 40 million exit, but then a private equity investor came in and took them to retail, and they did 8 million on a month, and then they started, you know, expanding like crazy in Walmart and all these fucking retail stores, and then that raised them from 40 million to 600 million. And the biggest mindfuck is he reduced his equity to 50% because out of 100%. So he lost like $300 million just because he didn't expect that deal to go through. So people play at the whole different level and we can think about, right? Like I'm not even that big of a player. Like if everything goes right for me this year, maybe I'll hit like 10, 15 million a month. But like, it's like it's not even I'm not even like a big shot if you think about it. There's levels to the game. So and the levels very much depend on your product. The product is the biggest leverage. If you want to go and make absurd amounts of money, you have to go into a huge industry and focus on solving a massive problem. And even if somebody else has solved it, you just have to outmarket them, make better ads, make a better designed website, charge higher prices, not lower prices, higher prices. Don't race to the bottom. The higher the price you can charge, the more money you'll make, regardless of what
Yeah.
business you're in. And you're gonna get a better customer base as well, who are like coming back more often. Yeah, like I said, there's so many. Like I wish I could just sum everything up in one line, but it's so hard. Like there's so many things that go into it. You kind of have to just continuously
Yeah.
keep learning And if there's anything I can give it like a true advice is like just try to self-observe and try to remember all the advice from this call. Like it's hard to, in a week from now we'll all forget that any of us exist. So our memories are so shallow, especially with Instagram nowadays. Like in the past you could remember things for weeks and months, but now your hand automatically moves when you pick up your phone. And it just like your hand knows where the fucking applications are, and you already just within like without even deciding it decides it for you, and you're fucking gone. You're lost for hours on end, and then you come back like, what the fuck just happened? So it's also about discipline and really focusing on yourself. But yeah, don't get too down on yourself. You're never as good or as bad as you think.
Yeah, no, because the main issue for me is because after like technically I have a coach. I have a coach that he's kind of guiding me through this whole process, and he's so kind of analytical, and he's so because he does consulting for kind of actual bigger brands, and for me that kind of learned drop shipping, let's say the last few months of kind of just pumping up like test products with kind of speed, but didn't really do any kind of deep understanding of the markets, research, any of that. Like recently, the last 2 weeks, I would say, I've been forced by him to like sit down and genuinely like study markets and study like my audience's pain points and all of that before I even test the product. And sometimes I kind of get in the middle of like, should I like should I do this, or should I kind of, because obviously there is money to be made from people, and clearly that are testing products daily or testing products every 2 days, whatever it may be. And it's like, which path, because I'm sure it's not just me, a lot of people also have this kind of question. It's like should we spend more time doing like and think more about a product test rather than kind of just go at a quicker pace like a lot of other people in the space.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna lose by researching the market, understanding your customer. At the end of the day, it's all about understanding your customer, because if you think about money itself, the more you try to chase money, the less you're going to focus on your product. When it's a paradox, the money is made because people like the product that you were selling to them. So, hypothetically, if you want to make the most money, like the most money possible, you have to create the best product possible. So that means you have to forget about the money and focus on the product only. um, if you want to make the most money possible and you focus on the money, then you'll forget about the most important part, which is like the fucking market. Like if I want to make $1 trillion, which I believe that this century there's going to be the first world trillionaire, right? And I want to be in that race. If I want to make $1 trillion, I have to make something which the entire fucking planet can afford and fucking need, like constantly. So that's the level I'll be thinking. I won't be thinking about like, here's a really good mental exercise. Make an insane fucking goal that you can't even imagine achieving, and then think about what will that take. Like what will that look like? Because you can achieve it, but there has to be very specific things that have to happen for you to achieve it. You know what I mean? You have to first of all believe it's possible, and that's all right. But then second thing, you have to like actually think, okay, what does that mean? Let's just take a small goal. Let's just take 50K a month. So you want to make 50K a month profit. 50K a month profit. All right. How much is that per day? Okay, it's 1.7K a day. So if I'm selling a product for $100 and I'm making $80 profit, I have to sell, you know, 23 products, whatever. That means I have at a 10%, 5% conversion rate, I have to get this many visitors and whatever the fuck. You have to break down big goals, because otherwise you won't be able to really hit them if you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna make $1 million this month." How the fuck are you gonna do that? You have to break it down into smaller steps, and that becomes more achievable. And this is like the most basic fucking cookie cutter advice, but it definitely works. My strategy for like getting big numbers is kind of retarded. I just quadruple the budget every fucking hour until it like breaks. I would not recommend that. Don't. That's fucking stupid. Don't do that. But I just do it because I just want to see how fast can I scale something, and I've been able to scale a brand from zero to $1 million a month in 2 months so far. Um, After COVID, I'm not counting COVID because that was $0 to $1 million in a fucking day. I think that was by far the fastest. like launch in history of Shopify. I like verified that because there are people with $1 million days, but they had like months of email list building on top of that. I launched a brand new store and $1 million in the next day, so that was like pretty fucking quick.
That's
So, but then
crazy,
again,
man.
that was like
Yeah.
a lifetime event. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. And that's why I kind of push in like my own community, my own Discord. It's like, sure, obviously, like you can make money on both ways, and it doesn't matter kind of which way you look at it. It's just more at the end of the day, it's super important. Even if you are looking to pump and dump, like I used to say, and you're looking into like not looking to X, you're just looking to profit. Sure, 100%. But like you said before, if you're strictly looking to profit, you're ignoring the other factor, which will make you the profit, and that's more your customer if they truly like the product and you actually give them value. So, 100%, I agree with everything you're saying, and it's crazy. So I just wanted to say, like, you probably have a lot of stories. Like, you have, how old are you, by the way?
25 now.
25. Nice, nice. So like, what's like, I would say after kind of hitting those big numbers, what's an experience that you'll never forget after, like, after hitting big numbers like that?
Hmm, that's a good question. What's something I'll never forget? I guess I look at my parents and Nan's face when they saw me hit those numbers, because we didn't come from money, and
Yeah.
it was very tough. And my mom passed away last year, but I was like, I was happy that at least she got to see like a really high version of me. Because I remember I got started like when I was 16 years old, and I sold fucking money in RuneScape. I sold like RuneScape Gold. This is fucking MMORPG game that you could play, and I sold gold in there to make like my first couple $100. And then one time I got super lucky in RuneScape, and I made $1,000 in a single day at age 16, 15, and I was like, holy shit! If I can make 15K in a single day, I'm sure there are ways to make more money in a single day somewhere else. And
Yeah.
then, 4 years later, I hit that number. It was definitely the first time I had tears of joy, and it felt like I had reached like the end of the game. But of course, I was wrong. That was just a really good feeling.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, no, I won't forget how good that felt. Absolutely,
Yeah.
but
I'm sure.
I don't forget it because it reminds me of like what's possible for anybody. Like it's possible. Like all I did was provide a fucking product for a lot of people, like a large amount of people at the right time. Everything just fell into place. So yeah, not everyone's gonna get there, but you don't have to get there. I mean, if you want to get to the highest level of success, you just have to consistently work 15, 16, 17 hours a fucking day, have a team working 15, 16 hours a day, everything, not just you alone, and then constantly introspect. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? Where am I fucking up? What went wrong? What went right? Like, I still think of myself as a fucking failure, like a complete failure, I think of myself as. And I keep pushing myself and I keep trying to get to the higher number. Because if I talk about making a spaceship and all this bullshit, bro, I'm not even like close. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Nick? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like delusional. Like, I should at least be at 2 or 3 exits by now, and I'm not. So that's horrendous. So
Yeah.
everybody has like their own time frame, but we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, man, if you're alive, your family's alive, you're you're living the best version of your life. So
100%. And I know, I deal with it. I think this is probably one of my main issues. I'm sure a lot of other people have that. It's like, how do you overcome, especially a lot at the beginning stage, kind of the fear of uncertainty, the feeling of loss, the feeling of, what I'm doing, is it right? Am I on the right path, the wrong path? Have you ever like felt that,
hmm,
like try to over, or I'm sure like it's something that probably I don't think anyone has completely overcome, but how have you like kind of dealt with something like that?
the right path.
Or like you
I
have a
never
goal.
really had.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I never really had the question. You're good. I never really had the question about the right path, the wrong path, because I mean, for me, it was just pretty simple to begin with. When I was in college, I was like, okay. I remember that I told this to myself. I was like, I don't know what path is right, but it definitely isn't fucking this one. And that's when I dropped out of college. I just stopped going there,
Yeah.
and I just worked 16, 18 hours a day. But I never got the time to kind of debate the path, because my life was so fucking shit that I had no time to just think about am I on the right path or not. Because like I either win or I die. Like we were coming down to like very low money. My family had like low money. My dad got scammed for like 50K. It was some horrendous shit. We had lost everything when I was like 15, 16 years old. So it was terrible, terrible teenage time. I had a beautiful childhood, golden childhood, but teenage years were really, really bad. Panic attacks, just horrendous fucking time. When you have three of family members almost fucking die, like a lot of trauma. Nothing crazy. Everybody has bad things happen to them, but all that kind of just made me think, hey, either I win or I die. So I never thought about like, am I on the right path? It was like, oh, I have to win. Like, I don't think people get like when you have to win.
Yeah.
It's like
No.
you do insane
100%.
things, and I recommend people to just like have this mental exercise. Just beginning of next month, pretend that there's a gun on the head of like everybody you love, and if you don't fucking make a certain amount of money by the end of the month, it'll get pulled. How would you act then? Would you still fucking scroll on Reels? Would you still wake up late? Would you still fucking sleep more than 7 hours dot? Would you know what I mean? Like, really, really take that seriously, and you'd see like a whole different version of yourself.
But I'm talking kind of more in the microspect. Like, okay, you have the goal of, let's say, making, let's say, 50. My point is, like,
Sure.
maybe the fear, not the fear, but the uncertainty of maybe is dropshipping the way for me, or maybe this strategy. Is it like that, the, you have a goal and you're not sure how to get there directly. Like, you don't have a clear path. And sometimes it's like a sense of anxiety where it's like, I don't know, like if I'm doing if
Yeah, it's
it's right or
uncertain. Yeah.
whatever.
Is it gonna? Yeah, yeah. I know what you
Is it
mean.
gonna
Is it
work
gonna
kind of
work? Or
thing?
is it not
Yeah.
gonna? Yeah, yeah. Um, no, everybody has that, dude, and
Yeah.
everybody has that forever. I wouldn't say it ever goes away,
Yeah.
but you kind of have to learn to just embrace it. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. That's the truth. You can launch a software company, you won't know what's gonna happen. You could launch a fucking VR headset company, you won't know what's gonna happen. All you can do is, I think I recorded this after my COVID day, and I have to go soon in a second here. But basically, I said, just do the best to live the best you can.
Yeah.
So that's like my greatest advice, because if you're just doing your fucking best that you can every single day, you wake up, you don't worry about being productive. You just wake up, you work, and you go to sleep, you'll get pretty far. And then also be pretty alert about the things you're doing, You could waste a lot of time on a shitty product or a shitty business
Yeah.
or whatever. Like dropshipping, do it for the first 50K, whatever. Then go into building your own brand. Go into building custom packaging, custom labels, custom everything. And you can still do dropshipping. By the way, dropshipping is just a way to ship the product. It's not a
Yeah.
business model. People mistake dropshipping to be like a shipping,
Fulfillment
like a
method. Yeah.
fucking business model. It's not. It's literally just a way to fulfill products. You could drop ship and be fucking the biggest brand in the world. It doesn't matter. I have brands doing 2 mil, 3 mil a month that are drop shipped fully, but they're still fucking brands. You know. So it's all about how good is your logo, how good is your like branding on the product. Are you doing custom packaging? Are you providing a good customer experience? All that shit. So you know, don't think of it that. But yeah, the uncertainty is never gonna go away, man. It's always gonna be
Yeah.
there. It's gonna stare you in the eye all the fucking time. You're never gonna know if it's the right track or not. But another thing is like assess your life. How much money have you made in the last 6 months, and then next 6 months, and then what's gonna change. If you're not gonna change your actions, you're gonna have the same results. So change your actions. Uh, The biggest thing I can recommend anybody here to do is just self-assessment. Like no one's perfect. I'm a fucking dumbass. We're all dumbasses. Just try to be less wrong about everything.
Yeah.
Slowly try to like get better and better at every skill one by one. And then remember that the product is the biggest leverage in this business, in any business. Become good at website designing, ads, and everything. Sure. Test a fuck ton of ads. I don't think anybody tests a lot of ads. You should test a lot of ads. That's like one of the secrets. But the real secret is just pick the right product. And that usually comes with trial and error. People always want this magical advice. Oh yeah, what's this guy who's done $1 billion gonna tell me? It Most of the time it's just boring shit. Like, oh yeah, it's just trial and error. That's it. People can flex all they want. They can pretend all they want for impressions online, but they know it's trial and error as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you here too long.
mostly error.
I know you said you have to go. I know you know. So you
Yeah.
were. I saw you in Paul Hand's Discord. You like, how did you like find him or like
Oh,
what do you
Paul,
think?
yeah, he's a cool guy. I
Yeah,
saw his video. I saw his video on YouTube. I just hit him up, and it was cool. It was like one of the first Discord servers where people were like chilling there, and I just got in there, spoke for a little bit, and it
nice,
was a nice community. It was just fun. Yeah, Paul's
nice.
a cool guy.
He is. He's one guy that really got me into it to take it seriously. I saw him when he first when he first had like 20K or something like that, and I honestly like that's something that him and his brothers done is honestly truly amazing. Like it, they built something truly valuable, and that's something I try to teach here myself. Is like really try to
Yeah.
build something valuable. Look at your customers. Look like yeah, like everything you summarized today, basically. And yeah, look
Easy.
again. I appreciate how you came and spent some time here. I really, and I think everyone here is very grateful as well.
No worries, man.
And yeah, we'll talk soon, bro. Keep killing it, bro. Doing absolutely crazy numbers and crazy stories. And I wish you all the best.
Of course, man. You too. Hey, hit me up if you need anything. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk soon. See you guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. How long has the call been? It's been an hour. All right. It's not recorded. No, it's not recorded. Bro, guys, come on. You know I record every single time. All right, so I would say I would stay here for another 5-10 minutes. Any Q&A you guys have. Um, I know maybe I didn't get to some of your questions that you wanted to ask. I tried to kind of just do the best with my conversation, try to make it flow as much as possible. I did see some people leave or get mad about the conversation that we were having, or maybe the questions I was asking. Guys, you got to realize no one's gonna come here. No one. Maybe besides me, because whatever. When I reach success, I don't give a fuck. But no one's gonna come here and tell you the exact product, what they did, the exact thing, And even if they did, it doesn't. It means fuck all. What's the point? What's the point of people coming here and giving you the answer? Like you're not gonna like. It's like guiding someone strictly with their hand, like holding their hand. You don't want to be your hand held. You want to be eventually independent and actually be a G yourself, not have someone fucking just tell you the answer and then that's it. You know, like, bro, it's like winning the lottery. You can win $1 million from the lottery, but what's that? What has that taught you? What has that done anything for you? More details. All right, look, maybe we can have him on eventually. I think we'll take a little break from guest calls. I think been a bit too much. Um, and that yeah, and you have a coach. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but if you are, let me explain to you that that's exactly what I've learned from my coach. Every time I have some type of question or anything, he never ever gives me the answer. That's why I just came back from this call and I told you he's very philosophical. He never tells. It's like every time I talk to him, I'm brain fucked. I'm like, bro, what the fuck did this guy just say? And I have to genuinely think about it myself. There's nothing wrong with having a mentor or a coach and they guide you, sure. But no one's gonna give you the actual answer. And my point is, and the reason it's not because people are greedy, it's because there is not one answer. There is not one answer. Someone can't come here, say something that will make every single person one of your hit success. Yes, Nick is very wise. Nick is very wise. Look, bro, I don't know. I feel like you discuss things are very general. So tell me, look, sure, maybe I did. Give me some questions that you would have liked me to ask. I'm gonna be honest. I came, like I said, I didn't have any questions down. I came here after another call. It was all really wasn't planned. I wasn't prepared at all whatsoever, for sure. That I agree. I was about to ask that Bog, but he said he had to leave. But I think I think like it's just kind of more of like I have one I have what made you stand out from other drop shippers. Yeah, I was trying to ask him. I was trying to ask him like kind of what's the gaps in the market that you look for. But this call is definitely something I'm gonna go rewatch, 100%. I have not rewatched any of my calls. I'm gonna rewatch this one. Of course, I wouldn't. I would not. If there was one call that I would make sure not to miss recording, would be this one. No, but okay. Let's get back to Gabriel, bro. Gabriel, I'm not. I'm genuinely just. I want to have a conversation. What questions? Not just Gabriel, but anyone. What questions do you guys think that I should have asked? Yeah, I did. I didn't believe in him. I know, bro. There's scammers on the internet. I don't know, man. Gotta make sure. But I did my research and had him on the call. When is 10 of your calls best one so far? Thank you. Good. You see, this is what I like. It is. I believe if you truly seek it, there was true value in this call. And it's kind of like I kept saying, guideposts to make you find your own answers. He's low key and not trying to sell anything. Signs he's legit. Maybe more ecom questions. I was trying. Did you not see? I did ask questions. It was always brought back to the mindset. Like crazy after finding. Those are good questions. Yeah, I did ask about research marketing, researching the market, customer psychology. My question was, does he agree with the people running the space? I saw that. I was about to ask, but again, we didn't have much time, so Abdul, I didn't want to. No, look, I like the honesty. I like the honesty. If you tell me right now my questions were shit, bro, go. I don't care. Go. Tell me. I love the honesty. That's how we grow, right? But you see, right there, just frankly, I have to think more about the good questions. You have to think about it. I wasn't prepared, and that is on me. That is on me. But yeah, he's not going anywhere. It's not like we did like this was our last chance and now we're fucked. He is in our Discord. Um, guys, if you have questions, you can obviously I'm not gonna say DM him because that's not for me to say, but maybe ask in the Discord and maybe hopefully he'll answer. But yes, we'll have him on a call. Don't worry about it. I'm sure he'll be glad to come up again. I just think for me, and this is just pure honesty. When you have when you meet someone that's doing very good numbers, and I've for every person that I've met, like hopped on a call, interviewed, or whatever it may be, I always start off with mindset because that's the first step. That's the first step. And in my opinion, it's the most important, because I genuinely believe like all these other more technical advice, I could figure out myself with experience later on, and maybe things will change later on. So it's like I kind of leave that more towards the end when I've kind of understood. But for me, when I have people that are at a higher level than me, I try to understand the way they think, because that allows me, the same way they found their technical answers, I will find my technical answers. But I think it's the more important to start with the mindset. Now, obviously, I didn't have much time, so we had more of the mindset talk. But obviously, if we were to talk because sometimes I would talk to people that are higher than me for an hour, 2 hours. So it would give me room to start with mindset for the majority of the call, and then towards the end, I ask more technical. Or yeah, he has his own Discord. Guys, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm getting roasted for the questions. Like, these are the questions I wanted to ask. If you guys have questions, go on. It's true. He has a Discord. That's hilarious. No, I appreciate the honesty though. I love that. I don't want. Trust me. You think I would? I would rather this than have like people like on my chats, like when I know I did shit and people say, "No, bro, Julian, you're a dub, 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 dub." Yes, I know. No hard feelings. I love it. That's why it is. I'll be like, I'm one of those people that you can just like, you roast, bro. You roast, and that's how you improve and get better. Last call was the peak of this disc, bro. Come on, admit this is a pretty good comeback. A bounce back. This is a good bounce back from last call. Thank you, Abdul. Come on, this is a pretty decent bounce back. Like from last call, like this to this call, I kind of made up for it. Please, cut me some slack. I think I made up for it. I did actually have mindset, sir, bro. Come on, no. Obviously, we're gonna give some technical advice, but just, bro, guys, I'm more of a philosopher. That's why you're following a philosopher. Go back on my old YouTube, bro. I was a philosopher. The roots are still in me. No, but I actually have some sauce personally to give to you guys, but I'll keep it for next week now. Call's already past an hour. Bro, it's about mindset. You want him to teach you the theme to use for your sites. No, look, Gabriel asked some good questions. Can go to Andrew Tate for that, little bro. Okay, chill. Andrew Tate's not a philosopher, bro. Please, come on. If anything, Tristan Tate is more of the philosopher. Andrew Tate's pro is all just motivation, I guess, maybe. Because of these questions you asked, you need to give us all edge, bro. Come on, you make them seem like they were that bad. I agree, they weren't the best. But realistically, come on. You're making it sound like I have to give everyone a Legends role because I fucked up so bad. Give us all mindset role. Bro, alright. I'm done. Alright. Guys, if we're just gonna stay here for the next 5 minutes to roast, we're gonna end the call. I think that's it. No one has any other comments or good comments, constructive comments, or questions, and we can leave and all go on our nice Fridays. He doesn't do the same strat as us. And yeah, also that is very true. We're in very different like, yeah, we're in different. Perfect, Ringo. Actually, you know what? Okay, let's touch on that. Thank you. Ringo has a fucking very solid point. He's at different levels at us. When he was at our level, it was years ago. Now he's building some real brands. So it's like it's hard for him to come and give you technical, but obviously he could. The recording is gonna be posted as soon as I end it. Columbus, that is a very good idea. Very democracy style for this community. I'm down. Next time we have... Yeah, anyways, I think it's time to end. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. Love you guys all. I tried to bounce back. That's all it is. I tried to bounce back. Anyways, guys, have a good Friday. Love you all. And as always, the classic saying, classic slogan, whatever it may be. Long weekend. Yep. We'll see you. Where am I seeing you? At the top. Yes. Gabriel said it. There it is. At the fucking